Hello, everyone. Welcome to 10 Minutes Astrology Podcast, the most easy way to learn astrology. I'm Rhoda Chang.
And I am Alejo Lopez.
Well, so Alejo, for last couple episodes, we're talking about star sign from Aries and Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and now we come to Leo. Meow.
Yes, the Leo, which is, Leo is ruled by the sun, and it's a very light, fiery sign, right?
Yeah, I don't have any planet in Leo. That's why maybe that's my envy. That's my envy. Especially I have a sun in Aquarius, right opposite Leo. So when I see a Leo type person, to be honest, okay, will project my insecure about myself or how they shine themselves. I think a big part of it is I have to learn from them.
Yes, of course. There is this sense of self-certainty or self-worth in Leo signs that is beautiful, I think.
Yeah, but sometimes it annoys me very much. But I know, I admit that's my
the shadow. Yes,
that's
exactly.
the shadow. That's my projection. And that's how astrology can help us. If I saw that and I have a strong feeling, either like or dislike, powerful, strong feeling, and that just remind me, maybe that's the part of me needs to, develop, need to learn. That's beauty of astrology. So how about the Leo? So how are we going to understand it from the mythology and the archetype?
Well, I love this story. So Leo is about becoming who you are, being yourself, right? So I love the story. So we have a lot of myths about different people who had to hide who they were, and suddenly they showed what they were made of. For instance, we have the story of Aladdin, if you want to, which could be a Leo story. Like he looks like a rat, so he's like a street rat, so he's hiding and he steals, but actually he has a noble heart, right? And then he can become the savior of the story. And one of the stories I really like is the story of King Arthur.
Hello, King Arthur.
Yes, I love this story actually. And so his father was Arthur Pendragon, who was the king, basically. He was very much in love with his woman who was not his wife, she was married. So he asked Merlin to be shaped into this woman's husband. And in the dark night, he climbed into her bedroom, they had sex, she got pregnant, and that's where how Arthur was born. He was taken away, so he didn't grow up in the castle, he grew up in the countryside, unaware of his lineage, so unaware that he has royal blood. And he grew up with his man and his brother, and there was this competition for knights. So he was the one, the assistant of the knight. So his brother, his stepbrother was the knight, and he was working as the assistant of this knight. And he lost his brother's sword, so he couldn't find it. Now Excalibur, which is the sword, the Excalibur was a sword given by divine forces to humanity by the Lady of the Lake, and it was stuck in stone, right? And there was a legend that only the true heir of Pendragon would be able to take the sword out and become the King of England. So people would try to take the sword out, but nobody could, right? And because Arthur had lost the sword of his brother, and his brother was about to go into the contest, he was desperately looking for a sword. And he suddenly sees a sword right there, and he just naively goes, takes out the sword like nothing has happened. And basically, when he does that, he becomes the King of England. I mean, he took Excalibur, right? So he's chosen. He means that he's chosen to be the king. I mean, it's a bit more complicated. Then he has to prove that he's really chosen and all of that. But basically, this is when he becomes Arthur the king. Like they discover that he's not just a peasant, he's the heir of Arthur Pendragon. So this is a story, I think, which encompasses a lot of the qualities of Leo. One of them is this idea of nobility, like the noble heart. Only Arthur can take this sword away, not only because he's the son of Pendragon, but also because he has a kind, fair, and noble heart. And I also like this idea of naivety. Like he goes very innocently. He goes and takes out the sword without being aware of what that could mean. And I think also that's one of the qualities of Leo, that just spread. You were saying they're so confident sometimes when they speak, and I think it's a part of their innocence. They just spread their warmth. You know, they give you what they have without thinking how people might react. They're just generous. I think there's a naive, generous energy here.
Yeah, it's very spontaneous. They didn't think, they didn't react. They just like, I do this. That's the fire signs are spontaneous. Yes.
Yes. So this is the story. I don't know.
Well,
if we No, if we approach it in the other way we were doing with the other signs.
Yeah,
Leo is fixed and fire, right?
Yeah. Fixed and fire. Well, fixed sign, I like one idea when we introduce about the quality, about the modality of the sign. Fixed sign always hold something, hold something. And I think the Leo sign is a holder for the passion and a holder for where his heart is. I think we can always relate to Leo with the heart, because the sun, astrological meaning is related to heart too. So it's about the heart, it's about where your heart is. And that's how he loyal to, how he stick with that, how he feel his passion, what he passionate about, what he wants. And another thing about the fixed sign, I mean, fire is always burning, but the fire always needs a field. The one fire never distinguish is the sun. That's a super huge fireball in the sky every day, day after day. It will going down to the another side of the earth, but it will come back tomorrow morning from the east horizon. So this kind of eternity keep going. The life force is really about fixed and the fire. When we think about fire, it's not the ancient people talking about the action, about the passion, about they lead the group, or also about their movement. They keep moving. And I think also when I read about the people with a lot of fire sign, I think they are really approach to the life and the kind of energy, that kind of moving.
Yes.
So
enthusiastic.
They're life force.
Yeah,
they're life force. And it's so interesting when you understand that what related to their action and where their heart is. And that is so important to understand the Leo sign. Well, we usually do the exercise between planet and the sign. We still do it today, but today I was suggest one thing, because I was wondering, when I remember an artist from United States in the early 20th century, and I also see the beauty of his art. You can never forget it. And I was wonder where his planet about, and then when we look at the chart, it's like, oh yeah, of course, Leo. Let me show you two things first. So when you go, first is the artist is Andy Warhol. I think most people know that. Alejo, you know art better than me, right? So
no, why? Come on.
Okay. How about let's show just very quick. If you Google the Andy Warhol, you see all this type of art. All this type of art is from Andy Warhol. So very flamboyant, very colorful, very shiny, and it's very interesting about this type of art. And I like one thing. Let's go to look at his chart, and maybe Alejo can. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I would say also the subjects she picks, like Marilyn Monroe, the Queen.
Yes.
Audrey Hepburn. It's like she chooses Leo. I'm not saying they have Leo in their charts. I don't know what they have in the charts, but I say she chooses these signs, these people who are like these prominent figures in society that we all know who they are, and that gives us perhaps a sense of identity or something.
Now we can see Andy Warhol's chart. He has a Leo rising. He has a Leo sun. He has a Leo Mercury, and then he has Leo Venus conjunct Neptune. How glamour that could be. How glamour that could be. We haven't studied. Okay, let's keep it simple. Venus in Leo. it does not fit the description of his art, Alejo. This Leo
Yes.
in this
So
Venus in Leo.
so Venus in Leo means that I find beauty in the grandiose, in what is very expressive, what is very outgoing. And also I think it makes a lot of sense when we think that he was kind of creating a movement, right?
Yes.
So he was the founder.
Yeah.
So it's also like he became the figure of this aesthetic way of life, which would be like where aesthetics are, is where you have Venus, right?
Yeah, I think the Venus in Leo usually is like shy, is bright. I like some of my friend, Jupiter, our friend Jupiter. She usually talking about Leo is like because she has Jupiter also has Leo rising. She's like, I like a shiny thingy. I like, oh, okay, that's very interesting. That because I don't have a Leo sign, so I learn from other people. Then when I heard about that, I say, oh, Andy Warhol. I was curious. Then we noticed we see whole pile of planet, and then I do a little bit search, not really research, but it's just like Google it, and I find a quote is so funny. And this is what Andy Warhol says. I want to share with everyone. And then remember the keyword. He say it would be very glamorous to be reincarnated as a great big ring on Liz Taylor's finger. So we can see he has not only Sun in Leo, he has a Mercury finger in Leo, and glamour, Neptune in Leo, conjunct Venus, Liz Taylor's ring. So
Yeah.
this is very one sentence, one quote. Really, you can see all the planet in his Leo sign is just express it. It is very interesting. So I think we talk about the Venus in Leo. I think maybe we will leave the exercise about Mercury in Leo.
Okay.
To our
We'll leave
audience.
the exercise about Mercury and Leo.
Yes. Yeah, I think, what do you think? What they will say, what they think, what in their mind is their judgment, what
How
they
do they
judge the
express
thing.
themselves? I love people who have
Oh,
Mercury in Leo when they have to share stories. Like,
oh really? Oh,
yeah,
really?
it's
Yes.
so. I don't want to give away the answer, but I can't
Okay, we don't.
hold it.
But
So.
maybe if you want to know, if you really don't know, find a friend who has a Leo, Mercury in Leo, and ask them tell you a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask them tell you something, then you will understand why me and Alejo react like this.
Yeah.
Well, time is so fast. Before we finish, do you have anything you want to add it up, Alejo?
I was thinking because we were talking the other day about the workshop, the Astrology of Happiness.
Oh yes, I nearly forget that. I'm really sorry. The Alejo's workshop on 16th of July, the Astrology of Happiness. How
So to
about
introduce
this?
it a little bit, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, go.
yeah. How about this Happy Leo?
Exactly. Just try to think for the audience, what does make Leo happy? Where does Leo
Yeah.
find happiness?
Yes. Where? Because I don't have Leo, I probably need more hints, more help. How Leo find the happiness?
But we're not gonna
From the
say, we
bling
keep it
bling.
a mystery, yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe if I were you, if I were the audience, I was looking for Leo's keywords, right? About the
Yeah.
heart, about the shy, about the action. But if you want to know a little bit more, please join me and Alejo on the 16th of July, 1 p.m. UK time, the Astrology of Happiness webinar. Well, and thank you for listening and watch 10 Minutes Astrology. This week we talk about Leo, and we really hope you enjoy this episode. Please join our Facebook group. Oh my God, Facebook group, 10 Minutes Astrology. Also, you can find me on my Instagram at AOAUK and you can find Alejo on his Instagram
At Liminal Cosmos.
at Liminal Cosmos. And next week, we're going to talk about a Virgo. But before that, stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.